Hi kids, so I've not done this for a while, but I'm going to do a patching on the micro modular. I'm going to create a subtractive mono synth today, divided up into 3 sections, which will be an oscillator section, a filter section and an amp envelope section. And I will also be making use of the groups feature on the micro modular because I only have a limited set of controls on the circuit tracks which I'm going to use to control the parameters. Okay, so off we go. I need to start with keyboard in so that I can get notes in. Then let's bosh some oscillators in there. I'm going to put on some other lighter oscillators. I'm not going to go with LFOs today, which is a trick that I commonly use. Just some lighter oscillators. And I want to put controls in already. I could control the wave shape using the circuit tracks, but I'm going to pick 2 different wave shapes. The square, which I'm going to have as the main pitch control. So that's going to be my oscillator, my main oscillator. And then I'm going to have a secondary oscillator, which I've already put up the B2, and that's also going to be into the pitch. But I'm going to control the pitch of this oscillator so that I can tune it and counter tune it against the first one. And I will also control the volume of this as well. So these will need to be mixed together. So I'm going to put in a simple 3-prong mixer. That one will go in there. The main oscillator at that level is going to be preserved. The second oscillator, that's going to be controlled. So I can put those controls in now because I know I want to do it. Because of the way that the circuit tracks is labelled up and I've laid it out, MIDI continuous controller number 1 I'm going to use for the coarse tuning adjustment of my secondary oscillator, and continuous controller number 2 I'm going to use for the volume. So I've patched those up now. That is pretty much my oscillator section. So the filter section, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try creating a low pass to high pass filter. So at the lower frequency ranges it will act as a low pass filter, and at the higher frequency ranges it will turn into a high pass filter. I'm using a crossfade with modulator. I'm not going to use the modulation on it, but the crossfade, it preserves the volume a lot better. Talking of which, let's put in an audio out quickly so that we will actually be able to hear what's going on. Now I need 2 filters and they can be quite basic, and the low pass I'm going to put into number 1 and the high pass I'm going to put into number 2. Okay, and this is where it gets clever. I want to assign these to groups. So I'm going to assign it to the morph group 1. And I need, this is the low pass filter. It's going to go from halfway and the range is going to go all the way down to -10 Hertz. And the high pass filter, I'm going to assign that to group 1, and this is going to go the other way. So I hold down the control key and push it up, and that goes all the way up to 15.8. And then I need the crossfade, and this needs to do the entire range. So I open it up to its maximum amount. I assign it to the group 1, and then I hold control and I flick it all the way down. Okay, and then my morph control, I turn that and I put it on the MIDI controller and I am going to put it on number 5, because on the circuit tracks that's the filter cutoff frequency. I'm following what the circuit track says because it makes it easier while I'm live jamming, so that's the reason why I'm following those set parameters. Last thing is, or envelopes in general. So next I'm going to put in an envelope for the filter. I'm going to group both of these frequency controls to morph group 2 because I want them to act in unison. It's got to seem like I've got one control for both of these filters. They start there and it opens up the whole way. Starts there, opens up the whole way, and then MIDI controller, and it's going to go into number 4. So next thing to do is the resonance, and again I've got to group these together because I want the resonance control to be acting in unison. So assign that to morph group 3 and morph group 3. Hold it on there, open it up, and MIDI controller, and I need to put that on controller 6, and that should act as a resonance. Now we can put in our amplitude envelope. I am just putting in very simple attack decay envelopes, and I'll show you why in a moment. Gate coming out to there and out to there, and now right, amp envelope. Last thing I'm going to do with that, I'm going to use the controller for the decay of that. And that's going to be controller number 3. Right, I've still got 2 controllers left. And it's a very, very basic, simple synth setup. So I'm just want to see if I can add something else in there that I can introduce to make it a little bit rougher around the edges and a little bit harder. I could introduce some modulation into something, but I'm tempted not to do that. I'm tempted to see what I can do to create a bit more of an effect. So let's have a look at some of the audio effect things that we've got on here. So one thing that I quite like is the wave wrapper, which is a kind of special distortion, and I think I might introduce that into the system. So coming out my crossfade, into there, into the envelope and out. So MIDI controller, other, and I'm going to put this as modulation. So this is going to be controller 7. That's got some quite savage noise on that. Still got one control left. And that, I think, I'll put a phaser in. There we go. I think I will put the rate control. In fact, I might actually swap these over. So put the rate control, because it sounds a bit more LFO-y, and put the onto number 8. Some pretty cool noises in there. That's it this week, kids. I hope you've enjoyed. Sorry it's not up to the usual standards, but if you've enjoyed it, please pass it on to somebody else who might enjoy it. Make sure you smash that like button. If you're not subscribed and you made it to the end, make sure you subscribe. And remember, kids, as they say at the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation, share and enjoy. Bye.